We are the greatest nation in the world.
A breath of fresh air.
Common sense.
Very impressive.
He's articulate, and he knows exactly what we need.
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain.
Solutions for a better America.
Anytime.
This is your host, Herman Cain. Thank you for joining us, because you know we're going to tell you the truth, give you the facts, because we want you to be better informed and inspired to help make this a better United States of America. President Trump's big speeches tonight, and there's a lot of anticipation about the speech. And it's not a State of the Union, because the people in the press want to be politically correct, technically correct. It's just an address by the president to a joint session of Congress. I happen to think that's a good move, because it gives him an opportunity that after the first 1 month and 1 day in 1 week in office, to lay out his priorities, his vision, and his positive tone from the top. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to it. Now, my advice to many of you that are listening is listen to the speech, which you can hear right here on this radio station, these radio stations, so you can compare what he said and what the media is going to tell you tomorrow if you look at some of those other programs. I don't, because many of them are a waste of time. So it is the much anticipated speech tonight. News Nugget. This is the last official day of Black History Month, February 28th. And I would encourage you to go to hermancain.com and listen to the tribute to Reverend Dr. Cameron Madison Alexander, a non-traditional hero of the civil rights movement. Listen to the tribute to him that's 1 minute and 50 seconds long. News Nugget. Make America smart again. I got that inspiration this morning, Shana B., as I recall what Tom Perez had said, Nancy Pelosi had said, and Chuck Schumer had said. And I came to the conclusion that they not only think we are stupid, they're trying to make us dumber. Listen to what Tom Perez said in the last couple of days.
We are suffering from a crisis of confidence, a crisis of relevance. We need a chair who can not only take the fight to Donald Trump, make sure that we talk about our positive message of inclusion and opportunity, and talk to that big tent of the Democratic Party.
That big tent is getting smaller. And taking the fight to Donald Trump, what does that say about wanting to promote divisiveness rather than unity in this country? Doesn't sound like it to me. And then you have Nancy Pelosi with the Pelosi Propaganda. She says President Trump won't have much to report in his address to Congress on Tuesday, tonight, in the way of accomplishments over the first 4 weeks of his administration.
What has the Trump administration done from their inaugural address, where they talked about decay and carnage? They've done nothing except put Wall Street first, make America sick again, instill fear in our immigrant population in our country, and make sure that Russia maintains its grip on our foreign policy.
Decay and carnage. Most of the people didn't see it that way, Nancy. But you see, that's part of Pelosi's propaganda. And she says they've done nothing. Go to hermancain.com. I wrote an entire commentary outlining some of the major things that this president and his administration have already accomplished. But they're trying to make you dumber. We want to make you smarter again. And then there's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He thinks Trump's proposals will kill us all.
They're going to almost certainly, by what they've said, breathe dirtier air
and drink dirtier water even after we've had Flint?
That is not true. What the Trump administration is going to do is prioritize the spending, and if it's not a crisis, they're not going to dump billions of dollars behind it. Now, allow me to remind many of you that voted for Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are your highest elected Democrat officials. So they are the official voice of your party. So when I say Democrats, I'm primarily talking about the members of Congress led by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, because they believe that their supporters are dumb and gullible, which is why they continue to put this kind of propaganda out. And that's why we continue to give you the facts. For example, news nugget. PolitiFact admits that President Trump is right about reducing the debt, then goes ahead and calls him a liar anyway. That's what they do. That's what they do. Read the commentary that I posted recently this morning on that title, where PolitiFact admits that Trump's numbers were right, which are the same ones I quoted on the Fox News program, and then they go on to say that he lied. Now, why do they do that? If the numbers don't match the narrative that they want, then they say that the numbers are wrong. It's interesting. This is why I don't trust police if the facts agree with them. News nugget. Getting back to tonight's President Trump's speech tonight. Sean Spicer, White House press secretary, says what you can expect to hear in Tuesday night's speech.
The address will particularly focus on public safety, including defense, increased border security, taking care of our veterans.
And that's consistent with what he's been saying all along. But he'll probably give a little bit more meat on the bones in terms of the strategic vision and the positive tone from the top and priorities. News nugget. Why it's not a State of the Union, as I mentioned, is because a State of the Union address is usually a year after someone takes office. But I think this is a great opportunity for President Trump to communicate with the public directly. What a novel idea. News nugget. Completing your bucket list. A 99-year-old woman in the Netherlands decided she didn't want to die until she was jailed. So her niece got her arrested as a present. The woman only identified as Annie told her niece that getting jailed and booked was something she has always wanted to do, but hadn't. Her niece called the police, and they were happy to oblige. Picked her up, drove her to the precinct, put her in and drove her straight to the pokey. Shane B, is getting jailed on your bucket list?
No.
Okay, I thought so. Now, you have completed one thing on your bucket list when you told me you started taking up skydiving, right?
That was a bucket list thing, yeah.
Yes. Well,
and that could be a kick the bucket list if I'm not kidding.
I warned you of that when you did that from your bucket list. I find that rather odd, folks, but I can tell you getting jail is not on my bucket list, and my bucket list is really, really short. 3 things. Do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it. That's my bucket list. And that starts with my wife. News nugget. Increased spending for defense. President Trump plans to seek what he's calling a historic $54 billion increase in defense spending while pursuing cuts elsewhere in the federal government as part of his upcoming budget plan. Mick Mulvaney, White House budget director, says the blueprint reflects the things President Trump promised the nation during the campaign.
They prioritize rebuilding the military, including restoring our nuclear capabilities, protecting the nation and securing the border, enforcing the laws currently on the books, taking care of vets, and increasing school choice. And it does all of that without adding to the currently projected FY 2018 deficit.
And of course, Nancy Pelosi doesn't believe that that can be done. So obviously, in order to make her supporters and the rest of us dumber, she poo-poos the president's blueprint.
President Trump's reckless agenda and incompetent judgment is jeopardizing the security of our nation.
No, it's not, Nancy. It's called prioritizing, responding to the people, cutting waste, and boosting the economy. That's what he's doing. News nugget. Meeting with healthcare CEOs. President Trump met with healthcare executives in advance of a repeal and replacement process ongoing for Obamacare. President Trump says he hopes insurance companies will help create a smooth handoff from President Obama's failed plan to the new one he and other Republicans are devising.
To stabilize the insurance markets and to ensure a smooth transition to the new plan. And the new plan will be a great plan for the patients, for the people, and hopefully for the companies.
But because the Democrats think that you are getting dumber, President Trump points out that the Democrats are fighting him tooth and nail, and not just on health care.
It's called obstruct and resist. I hope I didn't give him a new phrase, because their real phrase is resist. I think I just gave him another word. I shouldn't have done that. I'm good at branding.
Trust me, you don't have to give them another phrase. Guess what? Hillary has already set the tone when she urges Democrats to keep fighting.
Let resistance plus persistence equal progress for our party and our country.
Resistance plus persistence. Does that sound like a desire for a United States of America? No. And that's because Democrat supporters, your leaders, want you to be dumber. You're listening to the Herman Cain Show.
He's been there. He's done that. And he wants to give you the insight and the advantage. Herman Cain, solutions for a better America.
Thank you.